So today we're going to be doing a review of the TV short film called I Am Ruth, starring Kate Winslet. Hello everyone, my name is Rich Pearson. I'm a professional counsellor and psychotherapist based in Falmouth in Cornwall, and today we're going to be talking about I Am Ruth. So I Am Ruth is part of a series of, there's two other episodes, I think, 3 in total, of stories about various different women, and I've only seen the one with Kate Winslet, which is called I Am Ruth. I think the other ones are called I Am, and the names of the other women. But it's the one that I watched. Kate Winslet is obviously a really prestigious actor. She's been in loads of stuff. My personal favourite would be The Life of David Gale. She was an investigative journalist in that, which I really enjoyed. But as a film, it was one that my partner actually recommended. She'd seen it on being advertised and stuff, and she thought, and my partner has literally just become a mum, I've just become a dad, and this is a story about a woman and her daughter, and Kate Winslet plays the mother, the role of Ruth in this TV show, and her daughter is played, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce her surname properly, Mia Threppleton or Threepleton. So she is Kate Winslet's daughter from a previous relationship, I think. If I've got that right, I haven't done all the trivia research on it, but it's Kate Winslet playing her own daughter's mother. So the basic premise of this is her daughter is very much a sort of poster child of social anxiety relating to sort of social media and the pressures that are put on young people today. She's really consistently addicted to her phone, and you see this sort of earlier on, the struggles that the two of them have with the mum trying to set boundaries of when she should or shouldn't use her phone, and the daughter just sort of ignoring her because she's so addicted to what I guess is the social validation she gets from people on various apps and websites like Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. And I'm not demonizing any of those websites. I'm probably going to share this video on one, if not more than one of those when I've made this video. But it's really interesting because I'm 35 now, so I was one of the first kids in my school to have a mobile phone. I was 13 in the year 2000, and I remember having a mobile phone because my dad actually worked for a telecoms company. So me and my brother were some of the first kids to have phones. Now, everyone has a phone pretty much, and they're not just devices for ringing people or anything else. In fact, the term phone no longer really represents what that device is most commonly used for. I know I've probably used my phone a bunch of times today, and only once maybe to make an actual phone call. I'm using my phone right now to actually film this video that I'm making, and I'm going to use it to upload it and share it and everything else. But the point is, I have no idea what it is like. Yeah, even though I'm 35, relatively young, I have no idea what it is like for a sort of 17-year-old who is experiencing the kind of pressure that there is. I remember how much pressure there was just from movies and TV and everything else, that you had to be cool and look cool and do stuff like that. But this girl portrays this really damaged kind of psyche of a person who's really, really struggling with the pressures of trying to live up to everything that the internet and everything else thinks that she should be. Now, what's really interesting about this is that Kate Winslet's character, the mum in the situation, also has a phone. And what you start to see as the show goes on is that she's actually addicted to her phone as well, because she's texting her daughter and then she's waiting all the time for a reply, so for her daughter to say that everything's okay, because they have a big argument before she goes to work and her daughter goes to school, and she texts her daughter, and she clearly loves her daughter so much, and she desperately just wants her to validate her as a mother. And so what you actually end up seeing is that it's not just the daughter who has the greater sort of mobile phone addiction, to put a really simplistic kind of term on what's going on there. The mother actually is really, really stuck in this web as well. And again, this is something we just didn't have, when I was, a much younger kid. You know, just tell my mum I'm going out to play for a while, and I'd come back in a couple of hours, and she'd just hope I didn't hurt myself or anything else bad happen during that time. Now you've got these webs of continuous connection between phones and everything else and stuff, and it sounds like phones sound like these great and wonderful devices. And I don't want to demonize people that make mobile phones or apps or anything else and stuff, because they can be wonderfully helpful things. Again, I'm using one right now. But they can also be terrible traps. They can also really ensnare us in really painful ways, because we're so addicted to those three little dots to show that someone's replying to our message, or those little blue ticks on WhatsApp that say that someone's read our message and stuff like that. And I remember, having gone through all of this with various ex-partners and stuff like that, and that sort of that literal feeling of, oh my god, they're reading my message and now they're replying to it, and that hope, but all of that really tapping into a sort of serotonin kind of thing. Now with I Am Ruth, obviously it feels like a relatively extreme example, but the interesting thing is that there's so many different little nuances that are played out, whereby at the start I think you're meant to think that the girl is the only one who's struggling or irrational or anything else, and that Kate Winslet's character Ruth is completely in control. And she seems it at the start. She's going to the gym, she's got a job and stuff, and she just seems like a really typical, very middle English kind of single parent. And I could see a lot of my own mum in her, and other mothers and parents and people like that I know. And Kate Winslet is, again, a fantastic actress. She's really, really good at sort of tapping into those kind of things. But there are some things that, as a therapist, I remember noticing about it as well. I remember the way that she is trying so hard to just get her daughter to be what she wants her to be, and what she, not in a malicious kind of way. It seems like she's trying to really get her daughter to be safe, and to love her, and to give her something back. And there's a part where the mum's in the car and the daughter is sat on the bench outside, and the daughter's not talking to her, and she's saying, come on darling, just get in the car, come on, let's just forget about all of this. And what she's trying to do is she's desperate. She's not thinking logically and clearly about how to meet her daughter on her level and have a conversation with her. And there's a video that I did earlier about parent to parent and parent to child and adult to adult conversations, and it's really striking watching the character of Ruth desperately saying to her daughter, come on, let's just forget about all of this. You can't forget when you've just told your daughter that she looks like a slut and she's going to school, and you can't forget that your daughter's just harmed herself because she's lost her phone and she wants her phone back. But it is an attitude of, sort of British stiff upper lip. Come on, let's just forget about all of this and crack on, brush it all under the carpet and everything will be fine. And it's like, we're brought up to believe that was the way that you deal with things. And the role of counselling is also reflected really in a really interesting way in this show, as I remember Ruth meets with her daughter's teacher, who recommends that her daughter should potentially see a counsellor, and she's just shocked by this. She's like, my daughter can't need to see a counsellor, and she confronts her daughter about it, and it's it's interesting seeing that sort of stigma that's still there. People going, oh no, my child can't go and see a counsellor because that means there's something wrong with them. And it's like, you don't have to have something wrong with you to come and see a counsellor, and it doesn't have to be a stigma of shame or anything else like that. But it is interesting to see that there are those kind of things there. So I really enjoyed I Am Ruth. I thought it was a really fun TV show. In it, is fun the right word? I don't know. I think it was eye opening. It was hard to watch at times, but it also made me think. It was. I'm genuinely struggling to think of how I would describe it. It was a really interesting TV show in the sense that it makes, I think young people would probably look at it and say, God, her mother is so unruly and so unkind. And I think older people might watch it and go, oh my God, that child is just like, the mother's just trying to help and be nice. And it really is polarizing and damning at the same time of, both the coping mechanisms that it feels like young people use, like mobile phones, in terms of validation and everything else, and the strategies that parents try and use to cope with those kind of things, which is like brushing things under the carpet and not actually addressing the issues. These are big generalizations, obviously, but I'm not going to spoil anything for it. But the ending was nice. It was a really nice ending to it. It left me feeling hopeful and stuff. And as someone who, I've had my own really significant bouts of mental ill health over the years, as has my partner, and I don't doubt my daughter's going to have a few ups and downs as well. So watching this was, hard to watch, but I think it's one of the, I think I actually want to watch it again. So it was a good one. I hope you enjoyed this review of I Am Ruth, and I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, but I'll see how I feel and see if I can maybe review some other books and stuff. Again, if you'd like me to review anything that's anything to do with psychology or counselling or mental health, please drop it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, please let me know, and as always, if you feel like subscribing, that would be really great. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next video.